I literally thought it was a hypo, and I'm like, welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, man?
Yo, what up?
And today we are discussing Dark Knights of Steel, otherwise known as DC's Game of Thrones.
Pretty much.
And so this was one of those interesting little Elseworld. Hey, what's up, Cameron? This is one of those interesting little Elseworld stories that it completely reimagines the DC universe, like down to a T, and does it in a way that I'm like, oh, that's actually very unique. I actually really dig this.
Exactly.
So basically, the idea is the elves. Yeah, Cameron says, "I think you mean if DC and Game of Thrones had a love child." Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Yep. But it also takes two different. It takes three different previous Elseworlds and mesh it together.
Yeah.
Last Family of Krypton, the Action Comics annual, where it was set. Now, granted, in that case, it was set in the Revolutionary, but the whole idea is still causing such a more of a, getting that far in the past, and Superman Cal.
Well, it's also, I think, bringing in that Justice League riddles of the
Beast. Oh, riddles of the dragon?
Beast.
Riddles of the Beast, yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. So the story essentially is Jor-El and Lara come with Cal to Earth. They crash land, except here's the thing. They both survive, and essentially they lay low, essentially. Hey, what's up, X-Men Superfan? They lay low, and then eventually there's like a threat to the kingdom of the Waynes. Yes. Those Waynes. And they give the information on how to stop the threat to Lex Luthor, and spoiler alert, you can't trust Lex Luthor.
Nope. Some versions you can, most you can't.
Yeah, so then they save the kingdom and become like heroes and become like friends of the Waynes, and they all have their kids and stuff. So the interesting thing about this storyline is so first off, it's written by Tom Taylor with art mostly by Yasmin Putri. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. And so this is essentially like, imagine if like Batman hunted metahumans like they're witches, essentially. I love where he wakes up Dinah, and Dinah goes, yeah, I'm not so my name is Dinah, and as for quietly, then she just blasts him with her sonic scream.
Just a minute, I'm gonna go grab my my book, my copy.
Yeah, sure. So essentially what happens there is so it's like the Robins are essentially Batman's like agents still, but they're more like his like spies. And essentially the arc for this story is Batman learns not to judge people for their powers, and that not all superhumans are evil that could kill you, essentially. And essentially what happens there is he learns, okay, this was the part that I get why they did it, but I'm not a big fan. He learns that at one point Jor-El had an affair with Martha Wayne. Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
I could not resist. And
yeah, I get where they were going, especially back in those days, that could happen.
Yeah, and they wanted to give Batman superpowers, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And obviously you wouldn't have the advanced technology or anything to be able to come up with a way of doing it. Now, there's also a big mystery going on. And I'll be honest, I called it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what it was. The moment it was happening, I'm like, white Martians.
Yeah, so the mystery is that the members of the House of El have been killing key people throughout the rival Storm Kingdom, essentially like Jefferson Pierce's kingdom, including Pierce himself. So Zala, who is the Supergirl of this earth, kills his son and him, and
seemingly.
So what you discover is it's the white Martians impersonating the elves to bring the kingdoms to war. And Alfred is Martian Manhunter.
That I did not see coming.
That I was like, okay. He goes, I told you I was the sole survivor of another war, but it wasn't on this world. And I go, oh, that's cool.
Yep. Also, Zara and Diana are together in this version, and people know about that.
All right, so quick thing to elaborate on that. Tom Taylor has been clear that they're the same age, so it's not like this is adult Diana like some people.
No.
And some like okay. By speaking of Diana's age, did you see that Kelly Thompson has clarified that absolute Diana is 24 years old?
Okay, I believe that.
She's not ancient when the story starts because
I believe that.
She says the story I'm telling would not work with an immortal Diana.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
And Britt and I were all like, "Yay!"
I'll say this: you don't need her to be immortal since she's in hell. Since time has no meaning in hell, that's a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. So with that,
So you gotta be a lot of time could pass in hell compared to the real world, but she could still be 18.
Yeah. So on that, with Wonder Woman in this, pretty well represented. So it's like, so what I enjoyed about this was, okay, you saw Diana being a badass and stuff, but it's also the other thing that I felt like they went a little too far in the Diana is out for blood and vengeance, even though I get it. Her mother dies in this very brutally, like when the White Martian impersonating Laura just bisects the Hippolyta with the heat vision. I'm like, oh my god! Again, Tom Taylor, he is the guy that's known for coming up with creative and innovative ways to kill people in comic books. I want to be clear.
I also like that you have other characters, like you have Raven and everyone in here. So
yeah, the Titans, bro. I like. It's kind of interesting how in this world the Kents took Bruce in because he discovers that he's a Kryptonian. So it's like they still keep that, and then the demon is actually Ra's al Ghul.
That was again, anything's up for grabs. I also like how it's not specific what era of the Middle Age of the medieval times is this.
It's just knights and stuff. That's what it is. So I'm like, okay, that works. I like that.
Yep. All I will say, I am not happy with the ending.
What, the railroading of the Justice League?
No, it was what Waller did.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
When I read this recently, I was like, why did she do that?
Because she wanted control, of course.
And it's like, I get that, but it's still like, what? You can't. It just seems kind of dumb, honestly.
Yep.
So, and let me ask you this: how do you feel about the way Lois was portrayed in this?
Not bad.
Pretty decent, I would say. It's not the worst. There are far worse. There's Fatty 2 Lois, or Greg Rucker's Lois in that Lois Lane book. Let's be honest. I also like the way the Harley and Ivy relationship is done in this, where
Taylor's always so good at handling them.
Yeah, I liked where Ivy keeps trying to have Harley come stay with her, and then Diana goes, and then Harley goes, "This again," and then Ivy says, "This always." Like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Right. By the way, then there's the follow-up.
I haven't read that, so we won't be talking about that, but I heard it's good.
But basically, it just shows you can have a whole different part of the world.
Which is good. That's what you need. It shows that, like,
unlike, say, Deceased or DC for the Vampires, this one can keep going on for long terms.
Well, yeah, it's because with Deceased, it's like they ended it, and you could tell there was like a time limit per se, even in the first mini series.
Even though the second mini just meandered, I'm sorry, I still say that was like it started out fine, and partway through they had a railroad because Taylor had to love mad on for Constantine.
Yeah, exactly. I
love Constantine. Don't get me wrong, but it just made no sense.
Where's Jay Heat for his Constantine impression? Bloody hell.
Bloody hell, you bloody wanker.
I also like Constantine in this because he's like the oracle that has the visions.
Wait, what?
It lost me when Supergirl beat Wonder.
Why? They're closer in age.
No. By beat, you mean defeat her in combat? What do you mean by that? Oh, you mean in the sword fight when we first see Diana? Hang on. How do you know that Diana didn't let Zala win? But he says he does like it though. Okay, so I'll take that as a compromise. Right. That works. I'm trying to find that part.
But
let me see here. Yeah.
But yeah, though.
You can beat her. But yeah, it's like, but it's still a fun story, and I like the way it ends, where the Trinity just goes into a volcano, comes out on fire, and then just takes out the Martians because their weakness is fire. I love that.
Definitely. Oh yeah, and also I was saying DC versus Vampires is another, like I said, another one where it's like that was a finite story. Like when you have monsters at the threat, it's always gonna be finite.
Yeah, and Taylor ended this in such a way that they definitely could like extend it. It ends open. It ends with them establishing a league. So I'm like, yeah, there's any number of ways they could go with this.
Exactly. And again, this definitely does not feel like there's a limited shelf life at all.
I mean, even Taylor said they're doing a sequel to this. So it's like, yeah, of course.
Now, much like with DC, there was a big gap between issues. And I have a feeling, once again, it was a case of, I bet you originally was self-contained, and they realized it was a hit. So they decided, let's figure out a way to keep it going.
Hot Take says, and what's up, Hot Takes? He goes, also, I also don't like Batman being half Kryptonian. I have to read the rest. I stopped at about 10, I think. Read the rest. I think you might enjoy it, but it's I get being against that part. I 100% am fine with that. Would love an animated film.
Oh, yeah.
An animated film is built. This is built for animation, bro.
Yep. Again, reminding us how good Taylor is with AUs.
Oh, yeah. It's Taylor, even Tom King, there are some writers that I think just work better if they're in Elseworlds. Because they don't have to worry necessarily about maintaining the characterization of it. Now, it depends on if that Elseworlds is heavily based in the main continuity. But with this, it's like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah. And Taylor's special again. Injustice. Now, again, Injustice, he had restrictions. Let's not kid ourselves. He did.
Yeah, I know.
But Deceased and this one are definitely the two big ones.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a great idea when it comes to like, what if DC was like Knights and Dragons and stuff? But speaking of dragons, Beast Boy, of course, turning into a giant green dragon. That works.
Yeah,
it's like that. That was very obvious. And I liked, of course, Harley Quinn as like the court jester.
And I like it her being more heroic here because it makes sense.
And she's less insane, honestly.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah, I dig that. And so what I also liked when they're going through the like prison, you're seeing all of the like Easter eggs of the different characters. By the way, The other thing, hey, Robert, what's the name of the main white Martian?
I just blanked now.
Protex. Hello, Grant Morrison.
Yep. Well, of course, he was going to tie back to Morrison, since Morrison was the one who did the that big story.
And honestly, if they wanted to do in the DCU, I'm sure they have other plans. But if they want to do a threat that could unite a Justice League, White Martians also work.
Well, yeah, big time. Hey, again, that was the thing that Grant used to bring in the post-crisis Big Seven.
To bring in the only seven that should ever make up the Justice League. I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, also Amanda Waller working with the White Martians. That's also where I was like,
that is her.
He's written Waller well in everything else he's written her in. That's why I'm like, okay, it could be like, Waller's the type to only work with people. And I also love where the White Martian tries to touch her and she had a spell around her. They would just burst into flames. So I'm like, okay, I can buy that. I also love Oliver just throwing the arrow at like the Martian L, if you will.
Yep.
That was really good.
Definitely.
And I also love the Joker being a mix of Lex Luthor and Green Lantern. The Green Man and all that. I love that. Yep. Or where Jefferson Pierce, as his kid, was like making it rain inside of Zala's body. So she was essentially drowning.
Definitely.
It makes you wonder. It's like, oh yeah, all these weather people, they're much more powerful than you think. But yeah, and so let's see. What I also like, here's the thing. I would have I also draw the line at like at where it seems deliberately excludes all when he showed the queens, it's like there's no male representation of that. It kind of, I'm like, I get it, and it's like none of the dudes wanted to be king, but
Right.
you could have had someone in there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's not that big of a deal for me where I'm like, okay. And speaking of Constantine.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hey.
There you go. There you go. Had to. So, Jay, your thoughts on Dark Knights of Steel?
I was a fan of it. I mean, like I said, it's basically DC's Game of Thrones. With a much better ending, mind you, because season 8 was hot garbage.
And with less corn. By corn, you know what I'm saying on YouTube. I have to say that.
One of these days, Jared, you're going to get us demonetized.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's going to be you two.
Hey, more Jay Heat than even me.
More Jay Heat. That's right. It's going to be more Jay Heat. But the point is that it takes all of the stuff of Game of Thrones that I liked and just put DC in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, there you go. I dig that. I dig that. But yeah, so what do you think about like the inclusion of the White Martians, Jahi? Because I remember, I think this was when we were doing a stream at the time, and I mentioned that I read it because I have that issue where it was revealed, and I'm like, oh, that is what. Robert, to your credit, as soon as I saw this, I didn't put it together first because I started reading at this point. I started reading, I think, 2 issues before that, so I saw Zala kill people, and I'm like, are they doing evil? I will freak out if they do evil Kryptonians again, Taylor.
Right.
So when I see it, I'm like, that's genius.
Yep, I had. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. The first issue, I didn't figure out it was the White Martian. It was from the second one onward that I did.
Well, the other thing about it that he does that's really well is even when Kal-El kills someone, he goes, "This is going to be our world now. We will."
Yeah, that's what tipped me off.
That could be either way though, but it's like as soon as I see like, okay, something's going on here, I'm like, okay. So Jay, it's like it seems Tom Taylor was a big fan of our good friend Grant Morrison.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Protex, baby, Protex.
Again, I'm not surprised.
So Jay, as the resident Constantine fan, how do you think what was your favorite thing about how he portrayed Constantine? I have to say it because you do the best impression of everyone.
Well, I would dare say it was the perfect setting, scoundrel and all, mystic arts.
I love that. Yeah, I like the idea of he's the one that gets like the visions, if you will, and it's like he's the one predicting, oh yeah, the Kryptonians are going to destroy us, which technically he wasn't wrong. It's just he wasn't seeing the whole picture.
Exactly.
That's the genius about it. It's like, because the concern is, oh, he must be a crappy like Oracle because like it wasn't the Kryptonians. I'm like, yeah, but all he saw was the Kryptonians. He didn't see them turn into White Martians.
Right.
And by the way, everyone in the chat.
I definitely need to cut back on the bloody milk of the poppy in the sequel. Bloody hell.
Yeah. I always felt like White Martians should be the League's first encounter. They're one of the threats that you can justifiably use to unite the League. They shouldn't be the only one, but I'm like, I love it.
Hold on. Wasn't in the Hyperion kind of a play on the White Martians in the DCAU?
Who?
Remember the Secret Origins episode, the Hyperion. Weren't they the White Martians?
Oh, first off, Imperium, and the Imperium are just the one squid guy, and I think that was them doing their version of the White Martians. I don't know if they ever gave a reason why they didn't just go in that direction, but it's like, all right, fine. It's like, right. I have no problems with that. But I love Cameron. I love how no matter what Earth, Constantine is still an a-hole.
True.
Like, well, yeah, that's kind of his one defining trait.
Even in the Gotham by Gaslight stuff, even there, he's probably the least being of an asshole, but he's still an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I also dug, again, going back to Wonder Woman, it's like the lasso of truth usage in this, where first it was like, so Kal-El brings it to her and he goes, here, use this on Alfred. Okay, so Jay, how did you feel about Alfred being Martian Manhunter?
I saw that coming almost immediately because in a medieval setting where life expectancy is roughly 35, There's no way you can make this make sense. Unless
Maybe.
That's so true, though. That's actually really funny. I didn't think about that.
That's a good point.
I mean, he wasn't exactly subtle, is what I'm saying.
Very true.
That's very.
I guess at the time, this was around the time Alfred was killed off in main continuity, and we were just so glad to see Alfred again in something.
Alfred, my boy's back.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fan, though. Again, like I said, told Jared earlier, I'm not a fan of the ending.
Yeah, the ending's a little lackluster, but hey, for a one and done, this was a solid Elseworld story.
Like I said, I am positive, much like with Deceased, the reason why there was such a big delay between issues is they were reworking it to make it more of a like they can come back to it more. And I think that ending kind of shows it.
Yeah, the other thing that I really like about this is that all of the like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, such the Leaguers, if you will, the main characters are all, and yes, Cameron, he is still dead. The main characters are younger, so it's like it's what that allows for, because to Jay Heat's point, but we're dealing with like people that are either half or full Kryptonians or Amazons, but it's like it gives you more of like you can afford them being like idealistic or like that. Like I love where Cal goes, "I'm coming with you," and Batman's like, "No, stay here."
Right.
I also love, this is one of my favorite parts, where Cal goes to Themyscira, then Hippolyta goes, "No man can step foot on Themyscira." Cal looks down, he's still hovering. He goes, "I haven't yet." I'm like, yeah, I love when they can make Superman sarcastic. I feel like that's like the best way that I think would work. But yeah, it's like, yeah, in terms of the ending of Waller doing her whole like
taking out both Alfred and Deadshot to frame him.
Yeah, it's like the other thing, it's like, and also the fact that she kills out. So it's like Alfred can't live in any world.
I know. And again, it was all done because Bruce saw it, and then she threw Deadshot under the bus, so then she can be still under his confidence.
What would be interesting is if
that makes sense.
What would be an interesting direction to take it is if they do like for the sequel a sort of version of Absolute Power.
Oh yeah.
Because they actually really could, except how would you make a Mazo? Magic, I guess.
Magic, maybe get the Al Ghul's involved. I'm not saying a medieval Damian Wayne because the Black Knight concept is played out.
Yeah.
All right. It's in poor taste.
And
all right.
Talia is significantly older than Bruce.
Yeah.
It's Damian ain't happening in this unless they make him the son of Catwoman. But even these characters are too young. I mean, it depends on how far the time gap is between this and the sequel that's coming out. Yeah.
Chances are, if it's like DC, it's going to be a couple years.
So that's around the time where you can at least have Damian be a baby. And
Damian can still exist, just doesn't have to be Bruce's kid.
It could be he's one of the Robins it could be he was like an assassin sent by Al Ghul to kill Bruce, but he doesn't do it, and then Bruce raises him. So it's like that. There's any number of like ways that they can do this. Even with John, they could do this.
Yep.
But it's like it's like the thing about like
Elseworlds.
Yeah. It's like, and I do like, by the way, that DC is heavily investing into Elseworlds, as they should. I mean, they invented the concept when you really look down on it.
Yeah.
And they're doing the stuff that we think they should. And here's the thing. It's like, even with Dark Knights of Steel, I could see this being like an animated movie and or series. Like, can you imagine if they lampoon the Game of Thrones intro for the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best theme song on TV, even though I barely watched the show.
Trust me, just watch only up to season 5 and you're good. Well, 6 if you're waiting for the dragons, but after that, just end it there. Season 8 is terrible.
Or and who knows if if George R.R. Martin is going to finish that damn book.
Apparently,
no. I can tell you right now, that bloody wank is going to ride off the royalties. I am telling you that right now.
Apparently, he actually is working because he wants to prove he could do a better ending.
Sure.
Yeah, because the House of the Dragon showrunners pissed him off. That's the only reason. That's basically.
Oh boy, talk about backstab. First season perfectly fine, and then went bet the showrunner didn't listen to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You want to bet that's what happened, Jay?
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, it's basically like, yeah, we're best buddies. Then don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Make it your own. Make it your own.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
and I'm gonna just say this because I actually read the books because I was doing I was researching for a video topic. The House of the Dragon Civil War, it's like a 2-year conflict at most. Mostly backstabbing, entitlement, and hellfire. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Cameron asked, okay, if we could get this, what would it work as a show or live action? Now, it depends on if they do the full series or if they want to expand. Because if it's the full series, I would say just do it as like a duology, assuming the sequel comes out.
I think they would just broad stroke it.
That is also very true.
I think it'd be a very loose, like just going with the setting. They don't have to follow the exact story.
Think of the Injustice animated movie where the whole thing's a one and done.
I was about to bring that up, and again,
like Injustice, yeah.
Now the problem with that, again, when they say like truncated, essentially, I remember when Robert and I talked to Ernie about it. He said the problem that he ran into with Injustice is that they literally put the entire stack of Injustice comics in front of him, Jay Heaton, and said adapt this into one movie.
Which again, that was so stupid.
I'm like, at least give it like 2 or 3. At least give him a trilogy. He probably could have truncated that into a pretty good trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, what the heck? But it's like that. But as far as I would say honestly, I mean, it could work as a limited series, but honestly, I really feel like a high budget animated movie would work. Now, if they really want to impress me and Gunn wants to do Elseworld stuff, can you imagine if we got it as a live action movie?
Maybe. Very unlikely, but
very unlikely for the production because it would probably be closer to a Game of Thrones production.
Speaking of James Gunn, I know we agreed to wait until CLD to discuss this, but this needs to be said.
Yeah,
you're gonna have the screenwriter for Birds of Prey and the Flash on Bat.
Let him finish, Robert.
I know. That's why I'm putting my hand up. I wouldn't say anything.
Go ahead.
Okay. I can understand. I could at least give some credence to the Flash because that movie was going to bomb regardless. That movie was in 7 years of production.
And how many rewrites did the Flash go through?
Jared, I'm just gonna say one cuss word and that's it.
Now,
7 years of production hell. So you knew this was going to be hot garbage. Also, Birds of Prey at best is a Deadpool 2 ripoff. The butchering of Cassandra Cain. If we're really getting nerdy about this.
Man.
Go ahead, Robert. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Simone though came out and said that wasn't their call.
Really?
It was the studio's executives' call. The writers, everyone involved, wanted to do a more comic faithful one. For wadaver reason, they were told no.
Because I thought a Harley Quinn movie would sell better than a Birds of Prey movie for some reason.
Well, here's the other thing. What's interesting, I saw people were talking about the fact that she wrote a lot of like Batman scripts and stuff, most of which were shelved, and the bad ones were the ones that were like adapted.
Including but not limited to a background.
Also, Cameron brings up a good point.
That is true. That is true.
Ezra played a big role in that movie not working. So it's like
if you recasted Ezra Miller and delayed the movie a year, you might have been able to salvage it, but the damage.
I would argue not, because here's why: the amount of money that was already poured into that thing.
And I ain't gonna say it made a profit, but at least the movie would have been decent.
Remember something else she wrote? Bumblebee.
That movie was mid, but a decent reboot movie. I'll give you that.
And I told you she could do good when she's onto her own devices without any studio interference. And let's be honest, all of her DC scripts had studio interference.
She wrote, she wrote Birds of Prey, The Flash, Batgirl, Bumblebee, Shut In, Fast X 2. Yeah, she's so far. Bumblebee is the only thing that's really standing out to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, Fast X. I mean, come on.
That movie was gonna make $1 billion regardless. You could write that on toilet paper and it would still.
And she probably knew that going into it.
Yeah, it's like that's the easiest thing in the world to make $1 billion. Just repeat. Just have cars and hot girls. That's all you need.
Explosions.
And say family 80 times in the script. I wouldn't be surprised if she just had family the entire. If family just command pasted every single word, and then everyone else just ad-libbed. There was this one funny meme I saw of this kid that was, so his professor asked him to write a 5-paragraph essay as a Marvel character, and he chose Groot and just put "I am Groot" 80 times. Hey, you said a Marvel character. You said a Marvel character. That's still instructions.
I'll never forget that. She gave us one of the best lines in Transformers. Her name, Decepticon. Am I the only one not noticing this?
Yeah, exactly. And I will say again, the Affleck scene of Batman going, "These scars, they make us who we are. There's nothing broken about you." I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool.
Even
I like that.
the way, again, there's a lot good in Flash.
With Keaton and stuff as well. So I'm like, the Batman stuff was not the problem in that movie.
Exactly. No. Most of the problem was, I would gotta be honest, the writing was not a big part of the problem.
And
some of the writing
was adaptation without Reverse Flash,
or having 2 berries.
But that, again, some of that could also have been restrictions of what she had to work with or other things. And for all we know, there could have been rewrites when the movie went to production.
True. So it's like
there are times where they will do rewrites on the set, but they won't add an actor, the writer in.
Now this will be the deciding thing on my opinion of her. If she can make Brave and the Bold great, then it's like, okay, I'll excuse your previous stuff.
I'll say anyone who's complaining about Andy, or especially after Welcome to Derry, and it's like, okay, you guys are reaching now. You guys.
I'll admit Andy was a mismatch in terms of style, but Andy made the best out of a bad situation.
Exactly. He was just the latest in a. You have any idea how many directors left that movie?
Yeah, exactly. Again, he had a date locked in.
And that's like also during his tenure as making the movie, that's when Ezra's stuff started to come out. So it's like, can you imagine? He's probably like, God damn it, Ezra.
Now, I will say this, though. He's also the type of guy who will then, to its detriment, put all the blame on himself and claim it was the original idea rather than trying to say he had nothing to do with it.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, even on the CGI and the Chrono Ball, all you had to do was
one line,
was ADR, add line, while you don't even have to reshoot with Ezra. Just have a scene where where the camera is positioned from the back, and then just have Ezra say that, oh man, everything looks so wonky and almost like a PS1 game. There you go. Then it's like, okay, it was intentionally supposed to be that way.
My guess is, though, they didn't have time. By the time they were at the last second, it was like they couldn't even get Ezra in for ADR. Probably what I'm thinking. I bet you he was hoping they'll pull a miracle and make the effects look good by release.
Also, remember, this movie was supposed to come out after Aquaman, so they would have had more time to work on the visual effects. But then they switched it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, regardless, back to Dark Knight Steel. I think that the other part where this goes really well is again, this is one of those Elseworld stories where it's a complete reinvention, but it still feels like it, because that's the danger when you're going this extreme, when you're recreating the DC universe. You run the risk of these characters not feeling like themselves. Like Batman being a Kryptonian, half Kryptonian. It's like, what? But he still kind of felt like Batman.
Yep.
Also, Batman used a sword, the gun of the time.
Yep.
So I could say this Batman uses guns. Oh, and heat vision, that counts as a gun. So Batman uses guns.
Okay. So you're going
I'm making a joke, of course. But yeah, it's like overall, I'm like, okay, this was actually a pretty decent story, and one of Taylor's best. I want to say
definitely. I'm just curious on where they're going to be. I'm just curious on where it's going to be going next. Yep. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Definitely some of Tom Taylor's best work with Dark Knights of Steel. DCeased is a close second because DCeased is more of a zombie story. It's like DC's Walking Dead anyway. But I'm not going to say this is, if I had to compare DC's versus Marvel Zombies, I'm not saying Marvel Zombies is bad. It's just Marvel Zombies was just milked into the ground. They really dragged that story.
Yeah, that's the example of an Elseworlds that went on for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, it arguably should not have gone on past the first mini-series. That's where I would have just cut it off. But it's like, no, they had 80 series. I'm exaggerating, obviously. And what's up, Parker? I'm exaggerating, obviously. But it's like, I'm like, okay, you could stop with this. And it just kept getting... The other problem with Marvel Zombies is like they started going where like, oh, once they eat people, they regain their lucidity. And it's like...
Oh, that was in the first mini.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's where it started to like, I'm like, okay, dude, where Spider-Man's like, I hate my aunt and wife.
And now it's now a case where Marvel can't even do it. Or let Spidey get, transformed. He's one of the characters now they say, nope, never.
Yeah, exactly.
BKJ Cloud said that cover they have for Marvel Zombies Resurrection as Deadpool, that was originally Spidey, but then Marvel's like, nope.
Marvel Zombies was an edge fest through and through. Now, granted, there are way more edgier storylines. The Spider-Man clone, the Peter Parker, the Clone Saga, Future's End, 5G if it had gone through. There are worse aspects to it, but there's always a balance. And I'm not gonna. If you want to get into the big two or anything with the absolutes, all the power to you. I hope you enjoy. I hope you still continue to invest and enjoy comics, regardless of the brand. But that doesn't take away from the subjectivity of it all and how you feel, whether it be from a consumer standpoint, an objective standpoint. And I could probably rant about that the whole absolute universe and Scott Snyder. We'd be here all day. But to tie it all the way back to this, in order to be a good writer, you have to be willing to accept criticism and feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
I say that above anything else.
I want to get back to Marvel Zombie for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
I personally feel the best stuff were the Fred Van Lente stuff. 3, 4, 5, and Returns.
Okay.
Because those are the ones that actually took it a bit more serious, less dark comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They tried to, but even then, it just... If I wanted to go through first of all, you really want an edge fest. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. They turned that into a whole freaking trilogy.
A double trilogy.
There's more.
Yeah, you had the Killology, then you had the Kill the Marvel Universe trilogy.
And you had it again.
No, I'm saying, no, that's what I'm saying. You had the original Killology. That was Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Deadpool Illustrated. Deadpool kills Deadpool. Then you had Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. And Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. So it's a double trilogy.
Okay.
But I'm saying no. But I think Marvel Zombies should have ended with Returns 5 as an epilogue.
Okay.
Because 5 decided, let's go have them go to the universe where you have different zombie viral strengths based off of different movies.
It's like
the only good at game was the Supreme one because that's what actually brought back Jack of Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel really dragged the zombie craze into the ground.
Well, yeah, and it's also even with like longer series like Injustice. Now, again, the following criticism of Injustice is not because I hate it. It's because it's like because remember originally it was just supposed to be the year one stuff that leads into the game, but it was so popular that they're like stretch it, expand.
Well, no, from what I heard, it was supposed to be the 5 years.
I heard different.
I heard that it was supposed to cover the 5 years.
All right. Well, I didn't hear that, but regardless, it's like
it might not have been as dragged out or detailed, but
it got dragged out when Taylor left, and you had Bucciolato take over.
Yeah,
which Bucciolato is another one of those underrated writers because Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, man.
Yeah, no, he's doing a good job. I'm not complaining about Bucciolato didn't do a good job with it, but you could definitely tell it was a different writer jumping on.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It definitely felt like that. I'll agree with you on that one.
And I also do think they were running out of ideas by the end.
Yeah, it's like, can we just get to the game? And now we're getting 3. I know. But if Deadpool is still a moneymaker, could we get an animated movie on Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe?
No.
That would be R-rated.
Here's why I say this. The appeal of, like, especially now with mainstream. Hold on, let me adjust my laptop. The main appeal of it is PG to PG-13. That is the overall appeal. The movies will tell you it prove in itself. If you do anything Deadpool related, it's automatically going to be rated R. Unless you try to pull a Deadpool X-Men Origins Wolverine and you try to tone the character down as much as possible. I argue they went too far in that direction to the point that you completely butchered the character. But again, it's doable. It's doable, but not worth the risk from a profit standpoint. It's just not worth the risk.
Yeah, the other thing that like the F falls into is Disney's notoriously protective of their characters, and it's like, so it's like, so I'm like, wait a minute here. You mean to tell me that Disney's going to do a movie where Deadpool kills Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That ain't happening, brother.
The only way it would work is if they followed the third mini one last time where he's just killing variants across the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only one where that would work. Would you guys agree with that? That's the only one that would
because
work. It
doesn't contradict anything. You could treat it as standalone and no one would care.
Even if you did like Marvel Zombies, the show, I think that did that pretty decently.
Well, yeah,
they did end up doing that show, but I'll admit
it wasn't.
And it only ended up being one season.
Yeah, the show was actually better than way more enjoyable than I actually.
And who wrote it?
Who did?
Zeb Wells.
I'm not saying
that further tells me that the Spider-Man stuff was editorially pushed.
Editorially mandated. Zeb Wells made the best out of a bad situation.
Because I've read awesome Zeb Wells series.
I met him.
Go ahead.
I met him, and he knew he was going to be done by the issue he actually ended on. He knew he was only going to last that long. And you could already tell, even then, and this was a few years off before that, you could already tell he was already exhausted.
I'll admit Zeb Wells made the best out of a bad situation. Now, whether he outright half-assed the run, I can't tell you that. But yeah, in terms of Paul, Nick Spencer leaving and the editorial staff being petty, all this we've known from both a media and comic standpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah, objectively, Zeb Wells made the best out of a bad situation and got a lot of unnecessary heat for it.
Yeah, exactly. He got the heat because here's what comic book fans maybe don't understand is like they target the writer for criticism because that's the most like forward facing of the team involved, writer or artist.
Now sometimes there are writers who are majorly at fault.
And that could be an artist, a writer like pushing something as a joke, like Ryan Johnson, or like sometimes Dan Slott. Let's be honest, but it's like in this case, it's like guys, as long as he wasn't attacking you, as far as I know, and it's like he was, as long as he keeps his head down, I'm like, chances are. Plus, when you looked at like what Nick Lowe was tweeting, like face front true Paul Evers, that even more told me. I think that Zeb was just doing the best he could in a crappy situation.
He was a yes man, just like Joe Kelly is.
Yeah, exactly, because there are probably other books he would rather be doing, like Al Ewing.
Yep, and again, let's look at it this way. Zeb Wells is not a Jason Aaron who's going to do an issue dedicated to just be taking pot shots at all of his critics, putting the quotes from his critics into the book.
Oh, Jay, I'm reading through a trade collection of The Mighty Thor, and I got to that part where Titania gives Lady Thor a girl pass because she's a female Thor.
And she doesn't even fight her. She just like knocks out her husband and it says, below president will do what's good. You rock, girl.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, at least do a fight. Come on. But it's not that. So I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. I'm fine with that. But in terms of other stuff, so let's see. In terms of this, it's like, now let me ask you guys this. Let's go with this. What's your favorite DC Elseworlds?
Kingdom Come.
That's a good one.
Superman, Batman Generations.
Hopefully you're not talking about 3.
Deep cut.
No. I just look at, dude, I just do the whole, remember, even when we said, if you do the whole thing, it averages out at a 7.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. In terms of, for me, I like Kingdom Come, don't get me wrong. Super Wonder being a major part of that may or may not be coloring my decision. But if I have to pick an Elseworlds, that's not an obvious one.
New 52?
That does count, though. So no, because that would be obvious for me. But good one, Robert. By the way.
Full disclosure: Future's End was hot garbage.
Oh yeah, Future's.
Okay,
My
I got
new
52
does not include the final days of Superman and Future's End. It cuts off. But anyway, in terms of my favorite Elseworlds, it's a tie between Earth 2, New 52. I can still count that because I was technically in Elseworlds. And I honestly, I'm going to have to go with... Okay, I'm trying to remember what were all the Elseworlds I went over with Robert.
First off, I got two other Elseworlds I liked.
Go ahead.
Just Imagine, Stanley created the DC universe. That counts.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vampire trilogy.
Okay, that's
Thrill Killer?
No, I did the Vampire trilogy.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Oh, I got it.
Wait, where did you get Thrill Killer from Vampire trilogy?
Usually
right.
they do Dead Rain, Thrill Killer.
No. I said, Just Imagine Stanley,
Okay.
and then the Vampire trilogy. Vampire trilogy is Blood Rain, Crimson Mist, and Bloodstorm and Crimson Mist.
Okay.
Right.
There's no vampires in Thrill Killer.
I got my favorite Elseworlds. Are you ready? What? Gotham City Garage.
That counts.
That counts.
Have you ever heard that story, Jay?
I have.
For those that don't know, imagine the DC universe. Reimagine where all the female characters are a biker gang.
And there's a lot more lesbians in it.
Yeah, but it's like with the biker and the fact that again, it's another great portrayal of Wonder Woman and honestly, all the characters are represented so well. So I'm like, okay, I dig this.
Where does the dark side fall on your list?
That's the one where Superman is raised by Darkseid, right?
Yep.
Honestly, if I have to pick that one, that was probably number 3.
For me, also, the Nail is really good.
Nail is 2.
Yep.
Nail is definitely 2. You know what's my least favorite Elseworlds?
What?
My least favorite Elseworlds is Act of God.
Well, dude, that's an obvious.
That's an obvious choice, man. Act of God was terrible.
All right, Jahid, what's your least favorite Elseworlds? And you can't pick the Act of God.
Okay, least favorite Elseworld. I can't really count Injustice because really it was at the end of the day it's just a video. It's an edgy fighting.
Even
game.
though it's now under the Elseworlds label.
Okay, if I can't say Injustice, I would say DC versus Vampires.
Really? Why?
It's just it dragged out too long. I was more invested in the spinoffs than the main series. It just kind of dragged on to me.
Okay, that's it.
Robert,
how about you? Least favorite.
If you have to drag me and Taladia, I am so sorry. Superman True Brit.
Really? Why is that?
Wait, Superman True Brit.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy that's hardly funny.
Oh, okay.
For one, you want to know how Batman's handled in this?
How?
He literally has a cricket bat shoved right through him.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he teams up with that version of Perry, who is like this evil media mogul guy. And basically they form the Superman Revenge Squad. Oh, yeah. And a guy gets a cricket bat in the forehead to turning off sensitivity to his head. So why does he get named Brainiac?
That was a parody book, but hardly any of the jokes.
And here's the other thing. John Cleese's name is on it, and he barely had anything to do with it.
Hey, what's up, Tevia? Yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's bad.
I know Deladia enjoyed it because he's British. He gets a lot of the humor, but even I'm like, I'm not British, but even I gotta say this humor is weak. Oh, yeah, and the Kents keep trying to hide from him because they're embarrassed because their family motto, what would the neighbors think?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, so, and then you have stories like Act of God, and the problem with that, no one acts in character. And it's another Batwank fest. That's what it is. We love you, our Lord and Savior, Bruce Wayne.
It assassinated Booster Gold far worse than anything Tom King did.
Yeah.
Okay, the gift was not that bad. Was it
the gift was more an assassination on Bruce Wayne himself and Hal Jordan.
Yes, I would argue that. But on Booster Gold,
but Booster was not that stupid to think, oh, I can do it. This is a Booster who should have known better from all the history he had.
Also, here's the thing. The other problem with Act of God is that, okay, establishes the rules. All the heroes are dead. What happened to the magic people? Why is it affecting, like, a Green Lantern ring when it shouldn't be able to?
Why are the gods missing?
Why are the gods missing? Why does Wonder Woman all of a sudden become a staunch Christian? Why does she pray to her own gods?
Why did post-crisis Lois then reveal, oh, I can't be with you because I didn't marry Clark, I married Superman?
Yeah, even I have to admit that I'm like, what?
Again, Doug Monkey. I feel like the Vampire Trilogy is the only time where he never did the Bat God.
Yeah. Now, Doug Mike, I too don't like Lois, but I will tell you like that. I'm like, I have a line that I'm not going to credit because even I'm like, post-crisis Lois, yeah, I joke, but it's like,
She loved Clark.
It's established that she loved Clark beyond him being Superman. Come on, bro.
And,
wait, was Gog considered an Elseworld?
Gog?
Yeah, Gog.
No.
Well, he was in an Elseworld.
He was in the Kingdom, yes. But then you have Gog in Chuck Austin's Action Comics.
Oh, I got one. The Superman, here's a good one. The Superman story where instead of landing on Earth, he lands with a legion of superheroes.
That wasn't bad.
I said good one.
Oh, go. Yeah, because it was also a double what if, Elseworld. It was also an Elseworld of the Nail, because there, it basically what if the event happened, the Nail happened, but Cal never even landed on Earth.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that one.
Yeah, that one's more of a 2-in-1. I would agree with Roger on that.
But now I will say another Nail was mediocre. Because throughout the whole book was trying to say, why do we even need Superman?
Yeah. By the way, Tevia says, while the gift, on the other hand, set up Awful's Heroes in Crisis, which did some damage. Yes, but again, we're taking it more of a not what the long-term effect of it, like what other stories it set up, because we're just evaluating it what it did to the character.
It was the greatest kind of salvage booster.
Yeah, exactly. It would later destroy everyone else.
Heroes.
It would later destroy everyone else, but that's besides the point.
Oh, here's another bad one. Catwoman, Guardian of Gotham. Good,
No,
interesting idea, but because of Doug Mowick, Batman even being a villain has to be a much better character than Catwoman being the hero.
Okay, I hardly make a big deal out of this, but I feel like this needs to be said. Gotham War was terrible. Like, honest to God, Gotham War was terrible. Because the whole thing, if you're going to do a follow-up to the whole Tom King fiasco, that's one thing. Okay, give them some closure, do a follow-up. But you made an entire event comic, a lover spat with half the city caught in the middle. And then you had Bruce Wayne try to brainwash Jason Todd just to give the Bat family a reason to turn against him. And then not even 3 years later, you pull a similar concept with Hush 2.
I just realized there actually is another one that might be my number one favorite Elseworld.
What?
The White Knight verse.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Did you think anything really wrong with that?
That hardly. Except maybe the art's
maybe the Wonder Woman portrayal, but besides that.
But even now, we don't even know exactly where they're going with it.
Yeah, besides that, it's like, okay, but that's really one where like we have to hear it out. But as of yet, there's really nothing that wrong with it.
Yeah, even the idea of having Freeze being a former Nazi.
Well, the other thing, it's like that, even with that, you'd expect that to be bat worship. It's not.
It's really not.
What
the only real aspects
Tevia brings up Gotham by Gaslight. Also good.
That's
also good.
Yep.
And Cameron says, I'm honestly starting to see why Jason should have stayed dead, because unlike Bucky with Marvel, DC does not know what to do with him.
It depends. Depends on the creative team involved. There are some who do get him and do love him.
Like Lobdell?
Yeah, but Lobdell left.
Yeah.
Lobdell had to grow into the character, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, it took it a while, yeah.
You know one book I think deserves a follow-up?
Which one?
It was the very first one, Holy Night or Holy Terror.
But again,
no.
Oh,
not the Frank Miller thing.
Oh, okay. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the
boot him out, Jared. Boot him out.
No, I'm not booting him out.
I'm talking about the first Elseworld that was properly labeled Elseworld. The one where he's actually fighting against the church.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah, that one.
I was
No,
about to say.
definitely not. No, I said Batman Holy Terror, not just Holy Terror.
You must have lagged. That's why we didn't hear you.
Yeah. Speaking of Jason Todd Red Hood, that reminds me. What do you think of the new writer who was going to do the Red Hood series?
That book would have been bad.
That book we've talked about that a long time ago, but it's
that was a blessing from God.
In many ways, yes, it was.
Golden Age.
Huh? Golden Age?
JSA Golden Age. That's a great Elseworld. Same with New Frontier.
New Frontier is like one of the best DC Elseworlds ever.
And Jay Heat, yeah, it's an Elseworld. Come on, you have Hitler his brain being put in the side of one of the other heroes.
Which hero?
Danny Dynamo.
Who?
Oh, okay. Now, okay.
And you had some other characters like Miss America and all that get killed that aren't dead.
Oh, I remember the story you're talking about. Is that the one where they all have to disband? I think I have the trade.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it is a phenomenal one. Now, to be fair, James Robinson does take some elements from it, but it's more of a broad stroke.
Okay, that makes sense. I knew that storyline sounded familiar.
And dude, seriously, look right. Okay, see that bottom shelf?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm pointing? Mm-hmm. That's all my Elseworlds. That's all my Elseworlds.
Jeez.
I have 99% of all the Elseworlds that have been out. Oh, Nightwing: The New Order.
That one was great.
That's
you mean
underrated.
the one where he kills all the superheroes?
He depowers them. He doesn't kill them.
I love that one. That one's great. That one could be a pretty decent animated movie.
That one's very underrated.
Oh, another one of my least favorite, Wonder Woman Amazonia.
Yeah.
Robert,
how about the real world Wonder Woman?
Oh God! Now the other real worlds were fine.
The other real worlds were fantastic. It's just the Wonder Woman one
felt like they didn't even have we need something to tack Wonder Woman onto it.
They needed to give Wonder Woman her own story if they did Superman and Batman. So it's like, what?
Oh yeah, the Tales from the Dark Multiverse.
Oh, those are great. It's like, and again, refer back to our previous episode on that. But yeah, I love that one. That one was fun.
Here's the one that was I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was definitely disappointing. The Death of the Family, Jason Lives.
I'm not going to say it was bad. It's just you're very limited with that concept.
Well, not just that, but the problem was it's the whole notion. Rather than trying to tell us what could have happened and fit into continuity, it decided to go off the rails.
Yeah, I'm not saying Bruce would go as far as quit being Batman over it, because let's be honest, in a realistic scenario, say what you will about whether or not the vote was rigged, but in that scenario, especially with Joseph Stalin Stalin, what was the writer's name again? I almost said
Jim Starlin.
Was it Joseph Stalin? Oh my God!
How the heck do you get Jim Starlin wrong?
That's a Comics League moment right there.
Clip it.
Jay Heat confused the creator of Thanos with the Russian dictator from World War II.
Oh, come on. Those are similar sounding names.
Jim Starlin and Joseph Stalin. They're not the same thing.
Oh
my God. Okay, hang on. I got to do this.
Roll the clip.
Where's a good clip for this? Okay, I got it.
The psychos just keep getting younger.
I'll take that with grace. I'll take
one more.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Oh wait, you know what? There are two Marvel DC books that were Elseworlds.
All right.
Batman Captain America and the first Batman Daredevil.
Okay.
Back to what I was previously saying before all that. Back to what I was previously saying. With Jim Starlin, excuse me.
Thank you.
With Jim Starlin, no, he hated the concept of Robin and sidekicks in general. Mm-hmm. So with everything, even if the vote did go the opposite way, Jason would have likely gotten shelved. It's literally one way or the other.
Shelved, maybe not. I feel like at that point, if he hadn't died, they would have had him go off like Grayson did.
To be fair, Starlin was already leaving the book by that point anyway. So I think he just would have put him in a coma and someone would have just woken him up from the coma. Because if you looked at the actual release issue that showed us what would have happened if the vote got away, yeah, Jason was just in a coma. That's it.
Yeah,
and they did release it. They did release that issue.
Oh, interesting.
But,
so it's like, yeah, It's interesting. I'll go with that. But yeah, and everyone in the chat, drop your favorite Elseworld stories. And Barry Tevia says we did get a Death of the Family animated movie, which was okay. It's basically a redo of Under the Red Hood, though.
It's a choose your own adventure for the 10-year anniversary.
By the way,
yeah, but Jay, they even released a straight up version that's just the regular version of that story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the stream version is just an extended Under the Red Hood. If you wanted to choose your own adventure, you had to buy the physical release.
By the way, I will also say with Superman Red Sun, what I love that is I think one of the quintessential Elseworlds, because not the movie.
Which again,
what the hell, DeMatteis?
Well, I talked to Sam Liu about that, and it's like a few of the changes I get because they're obviously weren't going to do the whole time loop thing.
Oh no, definitely not.
The Wonder Woman part is the part where I'm like, what the? That is the most surface level understanding of that.
Yeah, it's like, and DeMatteis has shown he can do a good Wonder Woman.
Oh, he does fantastic Wonder Woman in every other portrayal. That's the funny part there.
But as I was saying, but what I love best about the actual comic of Red Sun is that Superman is still being Superman. He's still being good, except there's only one glaring problem in the book.
Which is?
He should not have been doing the Superman robot lobotomizing until the end of the second issue. At the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
That bothered me. When you really look at it, that's the one big issue. The first Superman robot should have been that one guy who betrayed him. Not he was already doing it beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like,
only problem. Everything else would have been perfectly in character.
Yeah, exactly. And again, with that, the cool thing about Red Sun, and then we'll wrap up, is that Red Sun works just as a general Superman story.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, he was raised by a good family. He wasn't raised by
that's the thing. That's the part that really gets. Yes, he crashed in Soviet Russia, where yeah, and little known fact, Jay Heath, that you also had a Stalin cameo in that as Joseph Stalin. That's never good.
You live that down.
That was the greatest flub ever, I think.
Seriously, dear, I cannot get how you got there.
And Tevia, we're talking about the Red Sun animated movie, but the thing about it is, like, it works as a general, as just Superman story, because again, because with Superman, the way they generally can do Elseworlds, what I think is a ready-made formula, is he changes or doesn't change depending on where he lands. Because in this, he's still being Superman. He still takes down those camps because it's like, he's like, you were putting our people in camps.
But he believes he was raised to believe that communism is the best way to redistribution of wealth is the best thing.
And I like
really
the way
Red Sun, Kal-El. In Red Sun, Kal-El is more naive than anything else.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really worked about that is like, and the other part that I didn't like about Red Sun either way is Batman being like a terrorist.
Yeah, but it made sense.
I'm like, okay, fine. It's like a completely different. I love that the Green Lantern Corps in this, that it takes them like all that time to reverse engineer the ring, which I'm like, that's realistic. And I love Lex in Red Sun.
Oh, yeah. And even him with Lois, it actually works.
Yeah. And I like the version of like Bizarro being Superior Man.
Well, that was the name they only put in the movie.
Well, yeah. But I'm like, okay. But like Red Sun, I was like, okay, that's actually real. It's a shame we never got to see Red Sun Flash. Says Tevia. Yeah, but they didn't need it. So it's like, it's fine. The other part that I didn't like, the movie added this. When Diana says that Superman is no different, she goes, "You're just a pathetic man." And I go, Diana is not a man-hater. Stop it.
A lot of people. And the worst part is, unlike in the comic, where Superman, there's a reason for her to hate him. In the movie, he kept having her best interest, and it felt like, screw you.
They were best friends, and I'm like,
even in that moment, he was Batman. He had her best interest. Unlike the comic.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell? But beyond that, I think that's a good place to leave it. But yeah, Dark Knights of Steel, I would say if I had to rate it, 8 out of 10. I'd say a solid 8.0.
A solid 8.
It's a fun story. And now, again, that rating could change when the sequels start coming out, and obviously we'll cover that. But as it stands right now, like, okay. And yes, Kingdom Come. The problem with Kingdom Come is that the thing about the best animated movies is that they try and recreate the art style. How are you going to animate Alex Ross's art style?
It can't be done.
You know what? And I just realized, one other Elseworld we never brought up?
What?
Dark Knight Returns.
Well, that's the standard.
That deserves an entire episode. We're going to give an entire episode.
No. But I'm just saying, no. It's no different than Kingdom Come in that regard.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, one was a social commentary on the edge and extremism of the 90s. The other saved the Bat brand from the campiness of the 60s.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to leave it. Next week's episode, I think, will be if we're the editorial team of DC. In other words, if we were in charge of everything. So it's not. So in other words, if we got to decide the position of DC.
Can I say one thing? We're not.
We're going to make a new Direction Verse episode.
Can I say one thing? You're not one sentence. You're not going to hear any of us say. We're going to fire everybody and hire who we want.
No, because that's a stupid idea. That's stupid. Preview of that. If Robert and I and Jay Heap and Talati and Britt went in there and just fired everyone, literally no one would stay. Even the people we wanted to keep.
Yeah, because
that is crappy job security right there.
Exactly. You're firing them because I hate you. I think you suck. I think you suck.
Around some editorial staff. Fine, because it's like you could make the argument that like maybe some of the worst writers just aren't put on the books that suit them. That's one thing. But firing everyone wholesale, anyone that says they would do that does not have the interest of the comic book company in mind.
No, they do not.
I guarantee you, let's say we fired everyone but Jeremy Adams. Do you really think Jeremy Adams is going to stick around?
He would leave in solidarity. Again, it's a stupid idea that people from from CG especially have just built up thinking that is the best thing to do. It is the greatest idea ever. When it's like you're only going to be hiring your best friends.
Tevia, we never said get rid of all the editorial either. That's a bad idea because no one's going to stay. Even people who like it, Marvel's.
I would move someone off of editorial. Yes.
Yeah. Again, move people. That's fine, but you don't like. And also, don't get rid of all of editorial.
Oh, geez. Again, for people to think that's the best way to go.
Well, Robert, that's why I said don't get rid of all of editorial.
Yeah, I don't get why people think that. I still don't get why people think that.
Look at Tevia's comment. I'm like, no, you don't get rid of all of Spider-Man's editorial.
No. Again, I would move Low off. I would move Low off. It's like, Low, you had your time. I don't think you're the right direction. We're moving you off.
And then essentially tell Brevoort you have no influence over the Spider-Man book.
Well, first I would find out if there was truth to that. I would find out if there was truth.
If there is, I'm saying I'm putting a stop to it right now.
Putting
a stop to it right now. But it's like that's the thing. Let me put it this way. Just reshuffle on either thing because yes, maybe the editorial teams at Marvel and DC need a little reshuffling. That's another story, but straight up wholesale firing people.
No.
That's like
horrible.
That's like setting fire to a house to prevent it from burning down. Right? That does the opposite.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. But yeah, so that's the episode. So Britt and I are going to be comparing Superman and Wonder Woman to Silver Surfer and Shah LaBeouf. Shout out to Robert for suggesting that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And for movie night, I don't think we ever picked movie night. So
I think it's Talatia's turn this week.
So we'll pick that after this.
Oh, by the way, right? I thought either Shah LaBeouf or Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. So, and for CLD is gonna be our big news episode. We're gonna talk about all the trailers, the He-Man Invincible trailer. He-Man trailer looks freaking dope.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about all the different comics coming out because Marvel Celeste came out for Bleeding Cool, so we'll talk about that. And
DC will be out by tomorrow.
Probably, and then we'll do that. Obviously, we'll do a full solicitation episode, and then let's see what else can we do. As far as like, and we'll talk about the mall trailer. As far as Amazon answers, I'll check out like what I have planned. I believe, if I remember correctly, the plan for Amazon answers was I wrote this down here. Let me see this. The plan for the Amazon Answers episode was going to be, I did so 750. So Wonder Woman, Black and Gold, or Odyssey of the Amazons. I'll probably just do one of those two. And Athena is funded. Again, I want to thank you all for supporting. The link to back it will be in the description below. We have some great stretch goals. And Robert, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
Link down below. You can find it out on your own. Your own. And I'm building up to episode 666, where I'll be covering iZombie.
Oh no!
And I mean the comic, not the TV show. Which those two are so different.
All right, Jay, how about you?
As for me, you can find me at JHeatBlaze or JHeat75. Recently, I'm planning a manga review and so many projects. Manga review. I'm also doing a DBZ panel with the announcement in Japan this weekend. Also, stay tuned for my Ironheart review. I'm trying to get that in before the end of the month, and I'm preparing to start a new series called Wasted Potential. It's been on the back burner for a while, but to be announced, and I hope you all enjoy it.
That's a fantastic idea. There's so much wasted potential in entertainment. Oh my God. But yeah, so stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lame, as Robert loves when I say that. And Zois and Steve Trevor belongs in a hydraulic press. Zois and Max about for life. We will see you guys later. We are the Comics League. See you guys later.